Today's video is once again a commentary video on Chille DeCastro and his semi-scripted role as Chille the Angry Activist. As I have stated before, it is my belief that Chille's channel is a reality show that he writes, directs and stars in. Some of my comments are a touch snarky. Some will be opinions, but well-researched ones. In any case, as always, I will leave it to you, the viewer, to decide if you agree with me or not. My opinions are mine, and yours are yours, and I don't want to tell you what to believe. I only ask that you keep an open mind. I also ask that you do your own research on anything anyone else tells you. Be that me or Chille. A healthy dose of skepticism has never hurt anyone. I'm not going to play the entire video. I'm just going to stick to the parts that he says things that are openly and utterly false. I am going to let his video start out from the beginning, just for some time and place context.
Open your window now, or I'm gonna bust it out.
Now you're going. Okay, I need you to call and I need you to get your supervisor out here. I need your supervisor out here. I need your supervisor. I am asking him for his supervisor. I am asking you for your supervisor. Okay.
They're damaging the property, and this isn't even my property. Please.
To unlawful engagement, sir. I need to tell you what I'm telling you, good sir. I'm a lawful individual. What you're doing is enforcing corporate policy, good sir, and I victimize nobody. So what you're doing is violating my constitutional rights. You're violating my constitutional rights.
What you may have is the opportunity to read. Whoa.
Put your camera on the car?
No, I did nothing wrong. Get your hands off me.
Camera on the car?
Get your hands off of me. I have done nothing wrong. This is unlawful, illegal, and a violation of my rights. Get your hands off of me. Get your hands off of me.
I do a system where I go as hard as I can for maybe a week. I go a week straight of hardcore. That's what I do. Where so I'll start off my week, just so you guys know, I'll start off my week where I will have gotten 14 hours of sleep or 12 hours of sleep like I did last night.
Use of methamphetamines is associated with numerous adverse health outcomes, with disturbed sleep being one of the most prominent consequences of meth use. People who get high on meth may use it frequently for several days in a row, often depriving themselves of food and sleep. Even small amounts of meth can affect sleep. In all seriousness, this is not normal. Most people don't operate this way. The human body has built-in mechanisms to control this. Sometimes called the body clock, the circadian rhythm is about 24 hours long. All life, even the simplest cyanobacteria, has a circadian rhythm of the same duration. This daily cycle influences brainwave activity patterns, cell repair, and hormone levels. The cycle is built into all life. Mood disorders are often associated with disrupted circadian rhythms. Some of Chille's erratic behavior might be because of his unusual sleep and eating habits.
And so then what happens is, after a short period of time, I run out of gas again. I just run out of gas because I burn so hard.
We want to pump you up.
And so that's what I just did. I just went where I got, I just slept for 12 hours last night, caught up on my sleep, and now I'm right as rain. I just needed the sleep. And then yesterday, what happened was I got woke up funny.
What did the comedian with a stiff neck say? I woke up funny. But seriously, does Chille's brain itch? What is he digging for in there?
I got woke. Oh, is that his? So yeah, and then what I did here, if you're having a hard time,
let's speed things up a little.
I just changed some things. I just changed a couple things on my live settings, and you guys will see some action happen in the next couple days here. It's going to be great. What you guys are going to see is going to be great. I got a premiere coming out here at 3 o'clock, so hang on 1 second real quick. I might lose you, but I'll be right back. I got to get this sprint in here real quick. Hang on real fast. So
that had to be the biggest piece of self-aggrandizement that I've ever seen. It also wasn't much of a wind sprint. It's better than I can do, but I'm also in a wheelchair. I don't know whether he did this to impress his female followers, or what. I do think it's a part of his narcissistic personality. I do know that he thinks he's an Adonis, and the toughest guy in the world.
The reason why I'm doing the sprints right here with you guys, is because,
Could it be because you want to convince your viewers of your strength and stamina? We all know Chille is nothing, if not an accomplished self-promoter.
I wanted to ask a question. You guys have seen me do things that few people have been able to do.
Yes, we have. Things like embarrass yourself, saying things that are patently false, displaying extreme paranoia and shoving a woman who was filming him. All she was doing was exactly the same thing that he does to other people. The irony that he doesn't like being filmed in public and have things yelled at him is not lost on me. Neither is the fact that he instantly ran over to a police officer to claim he was being harassed. Chille doesn't like it when the tables are turned on him.
It's got nothing to do with brawn. It's got nothing to do with muscles. It's got nothing to do with, whether you're tough or not. What you guys have seen has to do with the knowledge that I have here.
The amount of knowledge that Chille carries, especially about law and history, couldn't fill a thimble. If Chille would ever actually watch some of the videos put out by his detractors, he might realize how absolutely wrong he is on certain things. Myself and many others have demonstrated that, beyond question. The problem with uneducated amateurs is that they often draw conclusions from unrelated historical events and fail to look at everything as a whole. Let me show you a clip from one of his other videos, and then I'll explain what I mean.
Right here, and watch this giant spike right here. You guessed it. Come all the way up. It's Terry versus Ohio. Like I always talk about Terry. These Supreme Court cases you should definitely know, but let's talk about something important. From 1968 and the war on drugs with Nixon in 71, you create this massive prison system that goes up 100,000. Each one of these thin lines is 100,000 people. So what's the big problem we have here?
Let's look at some of the significant events that also happened in 1968 that affected the prison population rate, much more than Terry v. Ohio. The Omnibus Crime Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968 was signed into law. It was designed to assist state and local governments in reducing the incidence of crime and to increase the effectiveness, fairness, and coordination of law enforcement and criminal justice systems at all levels of government. The post-World War II babies were coming of age. Children born right after the war between 1945 and 1951 were turning 18 to 24. Following World War II, the United States experienced a greatly elevated birth rate. In fact, we added on average 4.24 million new babies to the population every year between the years 1945 and 1964. That was the baby boom generation. So simply put, as these babies became adults, the arrest rate was naturally going to rise with this massive increase in population. Vietnam War protesters were being arrested in large numbers. Marijuana, which had long been illegal, saw its use accelerate beginning with the mid to late 1960s and continuing through the 1980s. The period reflected on his little chart. This was further exasperated by the Nixon administration's so-called war on drugs. The civil rights movement was in full swing and protesters were also being arrested in droves. We've all seen the scenes of police and protesters clashing. Also, don't forget that Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy were assassinated only months apart, in 1968. To peg the rise in prison population to one Supreme Court case is naive and uninformed. I don't know of any legitimate historians who have drawn the same conclusion.
Let me put this over here. It'll just be better if I put it over here so that, because as you guys know, I'm being stalked. Crazy people. I'm being stalked. It's pretty weird. So hit the number 1 button. Let me know where. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue doing what I do here, and I'll be right back. It's just easier if I don't sprint with my phone in my hand. But that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about. You know, the power that you guys have seen me use has nothing to do with sprints. It has to do with the simple fact of how much knowledge I carry in my mind. And I'm able to recall that knowledge in a moment's notice. And that's the video I have coming out at 3 o'clock. It's just pure knowledge. If you want to learn something,
I'd suggest that you look to legitimate sources. They are easy to find on the internet. However, sources like Chille are not legitimate sources. Chille has no educational background in history. Chille never cites any sources or studies and only draws conclusions, in order to match his own internal biases. It's easy to use the internet to find reliable sources of information. True scholars never approach to undertake studies with a position to prove. Chille starts with his conclusion, and then tries to find things to prove that conclusion, ignoring other facts. Whereas a reliable historian will look at the facts and then draw conclusions. Chille does it backwards. When I want to read about new subject areas, I start with Google. You may have to try several different keyword searches, but once you get results, look for sources that you have heard of. I love the Library of Congress site. I also usually look for college and university scholarly journals. Stick to sources with .edu as their suffix. I often will read an article and then follow some of the footnoted links and cited reference materials, for an even further deep dive. That is why my videos take so long to produce. I won't say anything that I have not fully researched. If I express an opinion, I at least want it to be an informed opinion.
I can't see the comments because my glasses aren't on. I'm sorry, guys. If you want to learn something at 3 o'clock, watch the video I have coming out at 3 o'clock.
I'm going to cut out the parts where Chille just runs his sprints and repeats himself, over and over. But I do want you to notice that while he wasted time filming, he made sure that he perfectly framed the shot. It was all done as production value. He is always aware of camera placement and framing. For Chille, shots are all about the composition. This is just another part of the Chille show. The pretend reality show that plays in his head 24/7, 365.
Knowledge. And that's what I want you guys to understand. These filthy, dirty animals who sign up to be pigs.
It sure didn't seem to bother Chille to run over to one of those, quote, dirty, filthy pigs, end quote, when Kate from Masshole Report was filming his activities at the Memorial Day parade. Chille was quick to seek out one of those cops to complain that Kate was harassing him. Chille's whole shtick of hatred for police is as fake as his teeth. If only his followers would see that.
The reason why they're scared and they're beta boys is because they know that if they make one mistake and I capture it on video, that's where the power comes from.
I can only assume that Chille made a reference to suing police here. The sound cut out on his video. But we all know that Chille is all talk and zero action. Even if Chille ever were to file a lawsuit, he doesn't understand the law well enough to keep it from being fairly quickly dismissed. He also never stays in any one place long enough to receive paperwork and respond in a timely manner. I don't understand why his followers believe this stuff anymore. After he fails to follow through on his lawsuit threats enough times, can't they see what a fake he is?
It doesn't come from what I did in 2021. I took all the brain stuff I knew and I spit it on a wall. I put it on a wall so that you guys could.
He put a bunch of stupidity onto the wall so he could turn those into $125 posters. That's Chille's game. He finds a product, like posters, tri-folds and t-shirts, and then he sells them at steep markups. It's all about the money for Chille. Sure, he absolutely loves the attention that his channel brings. But he grows his audience, particularly because they become a regular source of income for him, via his sales of products and their direct cash donations. The only thing transparent about Chille is his shtick of constant fundraising with no accountability. No one really knows where the money goes.
Could then learn what I learned. And you're talking about 20 years of knowledge, but at the same time, I made it so that you can follow along on a timeline and just learn it. If you don't learn the knowledge, you won't have the power. You want the power. The power is the knowledge.
I really hope that no one thinks that his timeline posters reflects an accurate history. It is a bunch of cherry-picked items, taken out of time and place context, designed to support Chille's distorted beliefs. He cites no sources or studies and ignores facts that go counter to his opinion. Everything on it is biased to support his position. Honestly, it is my humble opinion that Chille is on the fast track to self-destruction. If he continues to live by this philosophy of, we don't stop, he's going to find that they don't stop on the way to taking him to prison. He does need to stop. Stop claiming that he has any particular historical or legal knowledge. Stop grifting from his followers. And stop with his public displays of stupidity. The entire reason that I started my channel was to try and teach people and correct inaccuracies in the law. His followers need to stop seeing people like Chille as some kind of prophet. He isn't. He just wants their money. He's simply a grifter of the highest order. He takes advantage of a community of people who feel marginalized by the system, and powerless to make any changes themselves. They falsely believe that Chille will be the one to bring them that change, and send him large amounts of untraceable and tax-free cash. This is what Chille needs to stop doing.
So the question I have for you is, how much have you learned? How much knowledge do you have in your head?
If Chille is the teacher, the students haven't learned very much. Listening to Chille, they've learned how to piss off the public at large, and yell at janitors. How to trespass in buildings after closing. And how to write poorly drafted legal documents. That's about all they would have learned.
And, listen, you can't in any way, shape, or form let people detour you, because they'll try to detour you. They'll try to take you off course. They'll try to take you off track. So, to comment here, you have to be a subscriber for a while. I set it up now so that you guys have to be.
Why would Chille only want longtime subscribers to be the only people who can post comments in the chat? Because he only wants to hear opinions that agree with his own. I've never seen a person who listens to only his own echo chamber ever actually succeed at anything. Chille will eventually learn the hard way that his views represent a very minority of the population, and they tend to be the portion that doesn't, or can't, vote. They aren't the kind to turn out to support him. And they will eventually grow tired of sending him their hard-earned money, and see no positive change.
You guys have got to learn the information, I'm telling you. Transparency website, I haven't even had 5 seconds to work on it.
In other words, he hasn't figured out how to monetize it yet, so it's a back burner project for now. Notice that he found time to create new t-shirts that he is currently selling.
I've learned a very valuable lesson, is that people who are victims of police brutality, people who are victims of the state, they're going through stuff. You can see that with Tim and Sarah, with Sarah Page and Tim Lyons. They're going through a lot of pain, a lot of adversity, and we need to support those people.
It really bothers me that Chille uses these people's names and stories to raise money. His followers send money directly to Chille, thinking that it's going to be used to support these people. But there is no way to know where that money actually goes. To use other people's suffering for his own personal gain is reprehensible. It needs to stop.
We need to support the people who are victims of the police state, police brutality, violence. So Tim and Sarah, they just need our support. And when they don't feel like we're supporting them, they feel like they're lost. Because it's scary. When the state is targeting you, it's absolutely terrifying.
Do you see what I mean?
We should have their channels taken down in the next 7 days. A couple channels will be deleted off YouTube in the next 7 days. You guys will watch it happen. So
I don't know how Chille figures that he can have someone's channel taken down. If it were easy, delete laws would have been taken down a long time ago. So this is just another lie that Chille tells his followers, so he can come off as somehow powerful. He's not. I just don't understand how his followers can't see that Chille's is vindictive but ultimately has no power. His promises never come true. He's just as disillusioned and marginalized as they are. He's just as powerless to change the system as they are. He can't do any of the things he promises.
You can look forward to that. If you guys see any videos where they use the content that we create here at Delete Laws, if they use any of the videos from Delete Laws, make sure I have the link they use and the timestamp of the video that they infringe upon.
I'm not infringing on his video. My use falls squarely under the fair use laws, because I offer education, criticism and humor when I take sections of his video. I have not used his video in its entirety. Chille repeats himself a lot in this video, and I have deleted those sections. I guess it shouldn't surprise me that Chille is unfamiliar with the fair use law, since he has demonstrated he lacks any real knowledge of the law. Oh well, it doesn't matter. YouTube will look into things and then take no action.
But all my videos are copywritten now. So we're just taking a couple steps here through the process to make sure that we're protected. Let me make sure we don't have anything in here. Okay, there's no addresses in here. So we just sit right here for a minute. I'm dying. Those sprints were hardcore. I mean, we really ran hard today. So, you know, I'm gonna just release, nope, fair use doesn't work well, sorry.
I have taken the following paragraph directly from the YouTube website section for content creators, as it explains things even better than me. Fair use is a U.S. law that allows the reuse of copyright-protected material under certain circumstances without getting permission from the copyright owner. However, fair use is determined on a case-by-case basis. And different countries have different rules about when it's okay to use material without the copyright owner's permission.
If a video is copywritten, you can't use any of it. Things are changing here quickly because I've decided to fight back.
In the U.S., works of commentary, criticism, research, teaching, or news reporting might be considered fair use, but it can depend on the situation. This is why I interrupt Chille's video frequently. I also add comments that are both of an educational and humorous nature. I know the robot voice can be a little tedious to listen to, but I got mixed reactions when I used my own voice in a prior video.
Pop over and watch this video, guys. I'll see you guys on the premiere. God bless you. We don't stop. Later, Gator.
Geez, if only I had known that I could just watch a 30-minute video from Chille's channel, I could have avoided 4 years of undergraduate, 2 years of grad school and 3 years of law school. Chille has no idea what he is talking about. He reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly he thinks he's an expert in history and law. I don't claim to be an award-winning actor, and this actor needs to stop claiming expertise he doesn't have. That's the end of the video. He wasted a lot of time, but he made enough absolutely false statements that I needed to correct them. It is my opinion that Chille is going to fail, because he doesn't really do anything. He runs around the country creating chaos, leaving victims in his wake, and collecting donations from hapless suckers to fund his grift as he goes. I can't think of a single thing of substance that Chille has actually done. He doesn't lobby legislators, he doesn't really help anyone, and he spends most of his time trying to raise money for non-existent apps and selling things for huge profits. I'm going to end my video with this thought. I don't wish for anyone to have to go to jail. However, I also think that might be the only way Chille will ever stop grifting. I don't think he knows anything else to do in order to make money. So maybe jail would be a good time out for him. I hope you learned something along the way. Thanks for watching.